This is the story of Novlet Mighty, a fisherwoman, a mother, and a survivor who defied the odds when the world seemed intent on taking her away. Her story isn't just about survival. It's about purpose, resilience, and the unbreakable human spirit. But what really happened that fateful day? And how does someone find the strength to carry on after staring death in the face? Stay with us, because you won't believe the twist this story takes. It all began on an ordinary day in October 2021. A day like any other on the greenish fishing beach. Novlet had just returned from delivering fish to her clients. She sat in her car, scrolling through her phone, thinking about nothing more than the next task on her list. But as she sat there, a shadow loomed. Before she could even process what was happening, the world exploded in sound, gunfire, loud, sharp and relentless. 6 shots. She felt the pain before she fully understood what was happening. One bullet hit her face, another struck her hand. Her body was under siege, but her mind refused to give in. As the perpetrator fled, Novlet faced the unthinkable. Could she save herself, or would this be the end? What happened next defies logic, and we're just getting started. But before we dive deeper into her incredible journey of survival, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And your support helps us create even more amazing content. As the blood poured from her wounds, Novlet did what most people wouldn't even consider. She decided to save herself. Her right hand was useless, shattered by a bullet, but she didn't let that stop her. With her left hand, she turned the key in the ignition and began to drive. Her car became a lifeline, a makeshift ambulance as she raced against the clock. Every second mattered. Every drop of blood lost brought her closer to the brink. But she didn't let fear or pain control her. When she finally arrived at the hospital, she did something that left everyone in shock. Despite her injuries, despite the unimaginable pain, she parked her car, got out and ran inside. Inside the emergency room, chaos erupted. Doctors and nurses scrambled as Novlet collapsed, her body battered and bleeding. The count began. 1 gunshot, 2, 3. They kept going. 6 wounds in total. The doctor's words were chilling. "You're lucky to be alive. Do you know how many people don't survive even 1 gunshot?" For Novlet, those words were a wake-up call. She had survived something few people ever do. But why? Was it luck, fate, or something much deeper? And this is where her story takes a turn you won't see coming, so stay tuned because there's so much more to uncover. It wasn't just the physical wounds that Novlet had to heal. The emotional scars ran even deeper. Imagine living every day knowing how close you came to death, replaying the sound of gunfire in your head, feeling the phantom pain of bullets that could have ended your life. For Novlet, these memories weren't just haunting, they were transformative. They forced her to reevaluate everything. Why was she still here? What purpose had spared her life? She found her answer in the faces of her 3 daughters. For them, she refused to give up. For them, she would rebuild her life no matter how many obstacles stood in her way. And just when you think her story couldn't get more inspiring, wait until you hear what she does next. But before we go further, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know, what would you do if you were in Novlet's shoes? Recovery wasn't easy, but Novlet tackled it with the same determination that got her to the hospital that day. Physical therapy became her new normal, learning to use her injured hand, coping with the scars on her face, and regaining her strength. It was a long and painful process, but she didn't do it alone. Her daughters were her rock, reminding her every day why she needed to keep fighting. They had seen their mother's strength firsthand, and now they became her cheerleaders, her support system, her reason to keep going. But here's where the story gets even more remarkable. Novlet didn't just recover, she reinvented herself. She turned her ordeal into a mission, a purpose greater than herself. She began speaking out, sharing her story with others who had faced trauma, showing them that survival isn't just about staying alive, it's about finding meaning in what comes next. Her message? You are stronger than you think. And if you think this is where her story ends, think again. There's a twist coming that will leave you speechless, so don't go anywhere. This isn't just a story of survival. It's a story of transformation, of turning pain into power and of refusing to let tragedy define you. Novlet Mighty is living proof that even in the darkest moments there's a light waiting to be found. But what does the future hold for her? How has her journey inspired change in others? And what can we all learn from her incredible resilience? Make sure to stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dive even deeper into her life after the gunshots and the legacy she's building. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. After surviving 6 gunshots, Novlet Mighty didn't just rebuild her life, she transformed it into a mission of hope and inspiration. Recovery was grueling, but with the support of her daughters, she reclaimed her strength, not just physically but emotionally. The scars on her body became symbols of resilience, and her story began to resonate far beyond her immediate circle. People who heard about her journey were inspired, not just by her survival, but by her refusal to be defined by what happened to her. Novlet's newfound purpose led her to become an advocate for change. She started sharing her story with victims of violence, encouraging them to find strength within themselves. Her words became a beacon for others. You can survive, you can rebuild, and you can thrive. She also worked to bring awareness to the challenges faced by survivors, from emotional recovery to finding justice, hoping her story would inspire systemic change. But Novlet didn't stop there. She turned her passion into action, helping to support her local community, focusing on at-risk youth and violence prevention programs. She understood that her survival wasn't just a second chance for her, it was an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others. Today, Novlet Mighty is a living testament to the power of determination and the human spirit. Her story isn't just about survival, it's about purpose, resilience, and the extraordinary things we can achieve when we refuse to give up. And if her journey teaches us anything, it's this: no matter how dark the moment, there's always a way forward. Share this video to spread her powerful message and join us as we continue to bring stories that uplift and inspire. Together we can celebrate resilience one story at a time.